Yes.
Okay, we are live. Sorry, viewers, for that technical hitch, but we are back live. And I've named it CS Matiangi Revelation 2 because the first one, it ended abruptly because of some technical hitch. So we are just proceeding with the same debate with the same panelists and viewers. Thank you. Bernard, can you guide us?
We appreciate all of you that are tuning in. Please keep sharing and calling in as many to watch. Let's hear from Simeon Ndungu. He was giving his submission. Karibu Kosho.
Thank you, Bernard. Okay, hi everyone. I would like to say that I will touch on the issue of land because it's a very sensitive topic, and for many years, those who are in power have taken advantage of their positions to acquire huge, uh, huge pieces of land. And for me, legislation should come through limiting the amount of land an individual citizen can own. Because for sure, how can an individual citizen own like 10,000 acres? What for what purpose will one individual own 10,000 acres? And will that land be productive? So we have to have like, let's say 100 acres. That's is enough because you cannot tell one individual owning 10,000 acres in one county, another county owns 5,000, and yet that land sits idle and it's not being used. While you find that investors try to come to Kenya, they look for land. They are either told that they should lease from an individual who owns huge tracts of land. So you see that it becomes expensive, and maybe it will be given on a lease basis, on a leasehold. And you find that investors will run away from our country because acquiring land will become very expensive. And as you can see, our population is growing. So we cannot continue to afford one individual owning huge tracts of land while others don't have land. Such scenarios will lead to conflict, yeah, and even go back to 2007, you could see the issue of land was also a factor that led to post-election violence, and you could see that people were being chased away from the land which they were occupying. So land is a very sensitive issue, and for me, a legislation should come capping individuals from owning huge tracts of land while others don't have. And for in conclusion, if an individual owns, like for example, 10,000 and above acres, they should be taxed heavily because that land should be productive. For example, you some can be growing cash crops or food that can increase production, or do dairy farming, or open an industry. That land should be productive, should not be sitting idle. And if that land is sitting idle for maybe more than 10 years, it should be reclaimed back because it will be of no use an individual sitting on land that is not using, while there are people who want to acquire land and do something productive with it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. That is a strong point. Kenyans need to rethink. Can we hear some response from Torobo? Dorobo, how are you?
Hey, fine, Pastor.
Yaani we iko giza kabisa, iko nini? Hakuna jua huko?
Eh?
Jua ameenda huko?
jua iliteremka. Yeah, I know you are in the western states. Hapa me, I'm in Africa bwana.
Okay, let there be light in Africa. Okay. Peana maoni yako tusikie.
Oh, okay. Is that what? Look at this guy. Okay, there's now light at the end of the tunnel. Hey, Matiangi. Today, yani, in all these panel, starting from the pastor through Ekesa and all these other guys, they are all Matiangi's ambassadors. Even Mugambi. I've really listened and I've said surely these guys have really been, you have really been enjoying yourselves, man, and it is good because maybe at an opportune time when you are trying to fight a giant, when you hear there is one leg has slipped, try to grab the other one so that it goes down, continues going down. And it is interesting. It is very interesting because ever since Matiangi was given the responsibilities which Ruto used to have, he has to really get that space and be very hard on the incumbent, because since 2018 this guy has, in fact, the acting, it's like this guy has been the acting uh, DP. So Matiangi has been wondering, how this guy, what is this guy doing here? It's like the title is not there. I'm the one, and suddenly there's now an opportunity which has now arisen that he needs to hit it very hard. I really don't understand, because I don't want to impute any ill motive against anybody. But if you are asked, why did you withdraw the GSU from the DP? You say, you know what, this guy, he owns 100,000 acres. This guy owns this hotel. This guy owns, he has chicken. This guy is doing business. This guy has been growing. Totally irrelevant. The question has been, why did you withdraw? And people have been asking. This guy has been the DP from ever since when they were in good terms with the president. But now that he is not in good terms with the president, he has given an opportunity. And when the president is not defending his deputy, suddenly the people who would not have even dared to talk ill about the president. There was another guy who said the deputy president is just a clerk. He said, what is the DP? It's just a clerk. So suddenly now everybody realized, if you just say I'm supporting the president, and the only thing you just need to do is you say, you know what, the DP is nothing, and there's nothing. No, nobody will. And in the real essence, if you look at the constitution, let us be frank, the constitution says protects the office of the DP. It's not Ruto. It is protecting the office of the deputy president. I know it's painful to many that this guy is the one who did all the donkey work until this government came into being, and the losers are this panel. All this, this panel here, these all round-headed guys here, all of them, most of these you guys are the ones who did not even vote. You lost, and it is so painful. It's very painful that the person who really tried who brought this government to being is now
Carlos,
is now.
what do
You
you
did
mean we
not
did not
vote.
vote?
You did not vote for this government.
We,
You are seeing a chance to attack because already the president. I'm talking, Bana. All these guys, if you combine all the poison you guys have been pouring from evening up to now, it cannot even match what I'm saying. You don't need to speak when I'm speaking. You see, give me time. You have been all alone. Give me time. I also tell you about what I'm feeling and what you have been talking about. These guys on the other side. These guys on the other side to show that this you are only one. You see, let us the person who brought about this government and who fought tooth and nail until this government, even Matiangi could not have been the CS. Where could he could not have been the CS? And let me describe Matiangi. It's not, and let me tell you how Matiangi has really made his way to the top. Matiangi, when he was is the ministry in the ministry of when he was in the ministry of ICT, he was really doing very well. When he came to education, that is now when he's changed the style of leadership. This guy used to, and these are facts. This guy used to go to even an high school to go and attack an headmaster about a chair, about what, about this in front of cameras. To make himself very, very popular. He used to have one car for fully paid for KTN, Citizen, all the way running from Nairobi to Busia, you run to Machakos, go ahead and you show that this guy is really working. Nobody else is working. The only minister we had who was working was the person who was running around with cameras from all stations, running around. You just go, how many teachers are here? How many teachers have reported? How many? You see now. Then the following day, then when he started, he went to immigration in Busia. I said, is this chair really, does it belong to the government? What is this? Then you see, when somebody else, somebody like our president now, who was our president is not that aggressive. He's not aggressive, not like Ruto. So then he said, you see, now this is the guy I should be working with. This one is the guy I should be working with. Eventually, he made himself the way he has made himself. I know how he has made himself very popular. Anyway, on the issue of security of the DP and the combining with what he owns, being an hustler does not mean that you will be an hustler forever. Let us be frank. If you struggle from wherever you want to struggle, you struggle very hard. Before people get your history, you are somewhere. And when you try to relate with where you have come from, and you always, if you are a mheshimiwa or you are a councillor, you will remain a councillor. So if you are a hustler, you will always remain a hustler, whether you own billions. That guy came from a very, very, that's other people who put on shoes the first time when they were going to high school. It's not like people who are a lot of people. Raila, although he has really struggled in this democracy we are enjoying now, is because of the likes of Raila and other people. And in this forum, I told you, you cannot compare Raila and Ruto when even if it's come even being social. Raila is very social. He's very approachable. I've always told you guys, I'm very frank. Raila is very approachable. But when it comes to now fighting Ruto, no, I'm not there. I'm not here because the people who are fighting Ruto are the same people who did not vote for this government. They did not even wait for this government to vote for the second term. They are here now trying to fight this guy up to, and he should be poor. When you were selling chicken, you should be. This guy should have been up to now selling chicken at the railway in Eldoret. I don't know whether it makes sense. It doesn't make sense. Let us be frank. It doesn't make sense. You cannot be poor forever.
So,
You cannot be poor forever.
Tolos, let me ask you a question before you continue. Did Matiang invite himself to parliament? Did he summon himself to go and demonstrate that he is the VP, or he has some stuff about the DP?
That's why the way I started when I said, if you are asked why did you withdraw GSU and replace it to the administration police, You cannot tell us it is because this guy is rich. You cannot tell us it is because the DP.
He was asked by who? What happened? Paint for us the scenario of what happened before he ended up being asked that question. Was he passing on the street and the question was posed, or he was summoned?
The summons were, and everybody knows that the issue was the downgrading of the security of the DP. It doesn't. You want to tell me he was coming to do a lifestyle audit? Because it looks like I told you the issue here, the politics in this panel is not that it is not straight to what was happening before this guy was called to parliament. The issue was what happened. Why did he withdraw the general service unit? In fact, the elite rec unit. It's not even the GSU. You see, GSU, there's a GD, there's a general duty officers in the general service unit, and there are the rec, which are the rec company. Those are now the special unit for the presidential escort. So it's not about coming. Who knew that Matiangi was coming to do a lifestyle audit of the DP?
Tolos, can I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
I suppose from the way from the way you are talking with a lot of emotionality, you didn't read the response of Matiangi. You didn't read it at all. Matiangi was very categorical that there is the first line, the second line, and the third line. The first line defense that protects the presidency, the GSU, the record squad was not touched. The other line that protects the other strategic buildings and such is where the APs and all, and that is changed from time, and it is routine work.
Okay.
And,
Excuse me,
let me finish.
No, before you continue, because it looks like you are the one who prepared Matiangi's statement.
No,
let me ask
Tolos. Order, everybody. Tolos, wait for the question, then respond so that the viewers can follow. Thank you.
Pastor, you are not fair.
Tolos, relax.
I have been accused of that already. I'm guilty. So just abide by the regulations so that the viewers can follow the discussion, please.
Tolos, relax. You know, by getting emotional, it doesn't improve your argument. So just relax, and then you get the question. So you have gone ahead with the fact that it was it was down. Let's calm down.
Just ask a question. Stop being sarcastic. We are listening. You are taking more time to laugh than asking a question.
Na mmekuwa wakali, hiyo pia ni wauda. Okay. That is David. David, relax. Calm down. Usipandishe sukari. Tuko hapa sisi wote. So, Tolos, you have gone ahead to talk about the way it was downgraded. But if you listen to Matiangi, he said that the first line was not touched. So is it in order for you to still proceed on with the same line of defense without using the facts? Secondly, there's this line you have used severally, that Ruto worked so hard to make Jubilee come to power. Is it therefore in your submission that the voters didn't make the government come to power? It was Ruto who worked so hard to make Jubilee come to power.
Let me start with the last question. Do you know he has really worked hard to make UDA the way it is now? But let me even not take you very far. He's really worked very hard. UDA is just less than a year, and you can see the inroads and the strength it has it has acquired. This is not rocket science.
So in your own
If you look
admission,
at ODM, the guys who are really struggling to make to look at people like Orengo. It's not necessarily a Raila who's making ODM stand. People like Orengo, people like Junet, people who are really fighting very hard to make ODM where it is, to make it where it is. The same way, even when before Raila became the prime minister, you don't know how Ruto was used to mob people to make sure that ODM was very strong in Rift Valley. I don't know why when the shoe is in the other foot, it becomes a different story. It admit it. There's a guy who told you here, that's our minister go, that he admires the way he does his things. You should also be admire Ruto very much, because this guy is not a joke when it comes to politics. Let us, and he doesn't sleep. There are people who go to sleep, and when they wake up the following morning, what did Ruto say? The Ruto has done ABCD, and this guy, let me tell you, to become the president, it's not easy because right now, since 28, he doesn't have the system. If this guy doesn't work very hard to look for money, do businesses, look for connections, look for friends, he doesn't have that money to become the president. He must work very hard. Anyway, coming back to what we were talking about, the first line of security, I'll still take you back to 2013 up to last month. Nothing had already changed until the other time. That guy, Ruto also, I think at a point, I'll have to blame him, because I remember one statement he did when he said, I'm a man on a mission. When the president said, if you are not what, you should resign. These two guys, the president and the deputy, they have never attacked each other as in direct, like the way things are now. It's pulling slowly. Looks like the punches are almost, the gloves are almost off, which is making things worse for the weaker one, because the weaker one for me now is the DP, because this other one is the commander in chief, and the commander in chief can use anything. You remember when somebody said the government can remove your teeth and tell you to do what, and go and report. They can remove your teeth and tell you what, go and report. That is the government, and that is now what the president is doing by using the Matiangi. Matiangi is not that strong as in who is Matiangi? Do you think Matiangi is that strong to come and say what he was saying in parliament? No, it is there's something behind very, very strong. So Ruto has to play his cards very well in these remaining days. He really has to, you remember when he was given the APs, he said, no, I'll do with them. I'll have to do with them. But the agitators, the supporters, his friends, the members of parliament and senators who support him, they are not happy because they are seeing, because they are trying to fight from the periphery. But he himself, he cannot do that fight, because that's why he said I can do with anything. And really, he has to do with anything because he has to survive for 2022. If he continues bringing his chest in the front, I'm telling you, it will not end well. Let us be frank. Let us be frank.
Bernard,
Yes.
Bernard, I have a question for Toros. Toros, do you listen every day to our dearest deputy president, what he says, what he always says, and then the next day he say a different thing? Today we'll say this, then the next day we'll say a different thing.
I've had you going back to that all the time about what he says today, what he says tomorrow. Do you remember most of the time, even when they were in good terms with the head of state, he had this guy was the mouthpiece of the head of state. He was not talking about himself, even of the Jubilee government. You remember the issues about the stadiums, do what. The stadiums is not that they were not there, but the slow pace. Even if you look at the records of because the other day I saw the Minister of Sports. He was in Wote, and the stadium is there, but the slow pace it was that they are being constructed. It now gives the advantage. It now gives the advantage of now the panel like you to say that these guys have been lying, and
now Tolos, we are really trying so hard to understand you, and we really appreciate your efforts. But it's good. Let's just support the DP where we can, but also disagree with him when he's wrong. Let's not defend the undefended, because
Bernard, how many times have you supported him? How many times, Bernard? How many times have you supported him?
3 months cannot be equal to 8 years. Okay, if you tell me the stadia will be ready in 3 months, and it is now 9 years later, it has been slowed down, and then you are looking for somebody to blame for slowing it down so that it fails to meet the record of 3 months.
Bernard,
Can
I have interjection?
Bernard, you see what? This government has been here for the last 8 years, and the pressure is really huge and enormous. And we cannot compare ourselves with the USA, who have been had independence since about over 300 years, and everything improves day after day, and you cannot compare 50 and 300. It's very far. We are still going. In fact, we expect whoever will become the president next year. We are not saying it will be Ruto. It might be Ruto. It might be Raila. We expect them to pick from where others have left. That is why there is always room for improvement. So if we cannot just look for a very huge rock, and place it on one person. And this government is not one person. The government is this government from 2013 has been run by from all the corners, including and not limited to the governors and senators and whatever. When we come here and every day we just say Ruto this, Ruto that, Ruto this, Ruto it, Ruto.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Let's hear from David.
Yeah, thank you, Pastor, for the chance. Allow me to respond to a few issues about what you are talking. Then I'll give some slight submission. Ruto, like any other human being, can make mistakes in terms of speech, in terms of conduct, and particularly when you are a marked man, because you see Ruto is talked all over. Anything you say can have several interpretations. So I want to ask my colleague Toros, just like Tembo said, don't get agitated. Ruto can make mistakes. We are his supporters. We agree with that, and we can still accept when things go wrong. But that does not mean tunamwaga unga. About the stadia and the promise, all of us, we know what politics is all about. Like in Kenya, sometimes we don't meet deadlines. Sometimes we are carried by crowds or the people we are addressing. We may say, oh, we are going to do this in the next 3 months. But then the channel where you get resources from might have challenges. You may not go back and tell people that we said 3 months, now there's no money. But that creep is there. It will still be followed up. You said 3 months, where this stadia? It's not wrong to question that, because any leader really ought to live up to his promise. That is how it's done wherever or everywhere. But again, we can't sacrifice Ruto for that, because we have had promises in Kenya failing. Like, you remember the common 100 days in power? That one has been there. Oh, in the first 100 days in power, we'll do this, we'll do that, but finally we don't get it. Even when you go to the local politics, politicians promise us so many things. In fact, I had one promise people that I will buy you each a cow in a family so that you can be milking and have milk for your children. It's now 5 years. I've never seen even one cow to any villager. So there are sorts of promises given by politicians. So even as we dispense these issues or we have this discourse, we should also be aware that politics is also a game of moving the minds to get votes. Lastly, I want to say that on the question about fighting Ruto, I want to be very candid that when we fight someone, we make him popular. Way back in 2007, people were fighting Raila. I was his ardent supporter. Even a small child who didn't know Raila could mention Raila. So in as much as we may get agitated about Ruto being spoken every day and pulling headlines in media, it's okay in politics because they are helping us try to spread the gospel about Ruto. Because finally someone has to sit down and say, who is this man talked about all the time? You know, you can cheat people at times. You can cheat all people at times, but you cannot cheat all the people at all times. At some point, people like Themba will sit down and say, indeed, this thing has been spoken. Where is the truth? And now you have to come up with the truth. You know, in ancient times, pastor can tell you people are not reading Bibles. They were being told, hivi ndivyo Yesu anasema. But at some point, people are now to go to the Bible and read and say, indeed, does this verse mean this? So, Ruto, let them fight them. But again, we remind them, don't waste a lot of your time and fail to give your manifesto because time is really running. You have now to go down and give us alternative leadership if at all you feel that Ruto is not the best. Give us your manifesto to convince David to move from UDA to ODM or to whichever party, because finally you need me. Give me a time. Finally, you need my vote. You also need someone's vote. Let me finish, sir. So,
Themba, just let him finish, please.
Yeah, let me finish my. It can be cracked. You know, the way you are laughing is so sarcastic. I'm sorry to say that. It might mean that if you want leadership, you need all of us, and if you win, you still be our leader. You cannot say you are only going to serve ODM supporters and leave UDA out. Finally we are in the same country, or our people are in the same country. You'll be our leader, but you need us. The way you behave is like once you've won, you'll forget about us. But we are telling you, in UDA, we need your vote. We have presented our candidate. You are able to criticize, critique, and we ask your vote. Lastly, hustler in our UDA, of course, it can have several meanings. I've posted what we subscribe to. It's an aggressive, enterprising person and a go-getter. I can be an enterprising by selling kuku. I can be an enterprising by having hotels. I can have piki, mkokoteni, anything you feel like that can be termed as a hustle that brings food on your table. But again, we don't stop there. All of us, if you date back, we have come from somewhere. We had a discussion with somebody today morning. Some of us went to school where we were sleeping. We were walking to school in the morning, then back lunch, then back in the evening. When it rains, we used to remove shoes, carry them on our hands so that we spare them because we don't have maybe shoe polish. I was a hustler. Those are 20-something years ago. But today, I can't still be there. I have made some steps in life. I can't imagine walking with a barefoot simply to safeguard a shoe and compromise my security, or not security actually, compromise my health by stepping down. So basically, those who are saying that a hustler cannot have resources, cannot be rich, They are just assuming that when you are a hustler, you remain there. But that's a means of getting, then at least you have to move and become somebody also. We must change class, but the means is hustling. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, David. Can we now get the question from Themba?
David, thank you for that. Very well, elaborated defense of a hustler, and I think you are a serious supporter of hustler movement. Now, on to my question. You said any publicity is publicity, so you bring the publicity. It is building your person. I want to submit that as much as you say that Ruto is being fought, nobody is fighting Ruto. It is an imagination of it's a figment of his imagination that is being fought.
Bernard, I need to interject. Is he asking me a question or giving a submission or an interjection?
Just hold on. Let him make the frame his question, then respond, please.
Okay.
Would the people learn to become?
No, there are several things going on here, so that's why I want you to be specific and
Stay calm, David. Stay calm. The way Tolos was. Yeah. So the figment of imagination that the Yuda people have heard, and what I can see you also propagating is that he is being fought. Nobody has fought Ruto anyway. It's a reputation that he's trying to capitalize on, and it has continued for a while. And I see you also bought to that. So there are those two, and another one is there's this a bottom-up thing that you have talked about, that you're busy telling people that now sell your agenda, and the bottom-up that nobody else can explain, even you and even him and even your people. Nobody else can explain. So you're busy telling others to give you something that even you guys don't have. So can you, as David, in support of your candidate, because you'll do your candidate a lot more favor when you kindly come out clearly, what are the ways in which Ruto is being fought that you think is working for him? You say that he's being fought and it is giving him publicity. And I submit to you that in many ways he has actually given himself, he's the enemy of himself. And Tolos, as your fellow Yuda guy, has said that his own verbosity and talking is the one that is hurting him. So
am I answering two questions, or
you can respond either way?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
First, Chair, I'm sorry that if my tone sounds emotional, I'm sorry. I just heard from somewhere. Maybe I've not settled down. I must apologize to that. I'm not emotional in any way. My tone could be maybe sounding emotional, but I'm not. I'm sorry for that. Secondly, I want to say that the statement you are saying that Ruto is not fought, maybe you need to explain to us what do you mean by fighting here, because as we understand, he's being fought. When you fight someone, in our understanding in Yuda, is when you talk ill about him, try to dig whatever he does to make importance, as if he's the only one who has that. So we have seen many people concentrate on what Ruto does more than others, because Ruto is not the only Kenyan who maybe is doing A, B, C, D. Ruto is not the only Kenyan who could be a thief, in quotes. But today, if you ask even a small child, you'll hear them say, Ruto is a thief. The ones propagating that are not friends. There are people fighting him. Two, you have heard of Matiangi himself having been given part of his duty, and like, I come from Kisii, and I can tell you some of our Kisii people think that Matiangi is the deputy president, now that he was given some of the duties that are supposed to be delegated to the DP. In as much as it might be false, but the picture there is Ruto was stripped of his duties and were given to a minister in the name of super CS. That is a fight as far as UDA is concerned. And even the strong terms used against Ruto, it's a clear indication. A fight cannot be physical. It can be a fight of words, emotional, psychological. We have seen Ruto make headlines which are not palatable. Even this forum of ours here, if you're not talking about Raila, we're talking about Ruto. Because one time we were challenging Mutembei. Mutembei, why can't you introduce some other topics? And honestly, if you can go back to those clips, I participated. Someone said, this channel can be useless if you don't talk the two proponents. If you start talking about other people, you may not even have the room full. So that's a few chances of or examples I can put across that shows Ruto is being fought. Lastly, I want to talk about bottom up. It's not true, as you are putting it, that we are not able to explain bottom up. What I'm seeing, I'm sorry to say that, is when we are explaining, you want us to explain it in the way you want us to, in the way you understand it. I want to beg you that open up your mind so that when someone says something, apart from what you know, be receptive. Just like hustler. Some have been saying, oh, hustler means prostitute, means thief. A word can have several meanings. And we are saying in Yuda, we believe as an aggressive enterprising person, a go-getter. Leave around about the prostitution for somebody else. So bottom up, what we simply means is that it's an approach, it's an economic system where we empower the small person such that he builds up as
Just a moment, David. One moment, David. Tolos, you are lifting your hand. What is cooking?
I want to be a bit calm like David. Let me try to be calm like David. David is very calm. Let me try to be very calm like him. There's something I just wanted to support what David has alluded about what Ruto is doing, what which others are doing, but they are not being seen. If you go to Nairobi right now, all these high-rise buildings, they belong to Kenyans. Most they belong to Kenyans and individual Kenyans for that matter. But you don't want to know even who owns those buildings, because you want to know who owns Weston Hotel, something even which is not even more than 3 crores. That is why David is trying to explain something which I also wanted to support. And then you saw me laughing. There's a comment which came across here. A guy was just seen somebody cross David's back. He told him, "You go to the bedroom, follow your."
Bernard, allow me to just tell David that as he's talking about Ruto, he should be aware that Ruto is a presidential candidate. Ruto has equally talked badly about other candidates. So he is looking for that top seat.
I wish that I could be given time so that they give a rebuttal after I finish, because they are confusing me.
No, you will finish, David. You just need to be sincere. Ruto is not the only candidate, and he is also talking about other people going to meet in Mombasa, going to meet. So does he have a right to talk bad about other people, but no one should mention him because he is being fought?
We didn't say that. Allow me to finish, please. I will be able to answer that once I finish. Bernard, am I allowed to move?
Okay, go ahead. Although I have a bone of contention with Tolos, I'm coming for him later.
Okay, thank you, sir. I was talking about bottom up and the perception or the notion that we don't know what we are talking about. As I said, is an economic model. Those who have done community development, there are sometimes things are planned in Nairobi, then they flow down, trickle down effect, and there is that bottom up. That's where the difference is. trickle-down effect, it's assumed that a few elites can sit down, plan a model, do things, invite people without them knowing, then they participate in that. They realize the importance once the fruits are out. But when you involve everybody, that is the participatory one. The participatory one is the one we are approaching as the bottom up. Tunaanzia watu wadogo kwanza. I don't know why that becomes so difficult for Themba to understand. We need to empower young, small people within their levels. We meet them at their level because your need and my need is not the same. You may need a promotion in your job because of your master's degree, but there's somebody down there who is a Form 4 leaver who may not do that job you want, and he needs something small to do to bring food on the table. So,
With what?
but the many people that are there who are not participating economically, but they are big consumers, are the ones to be addressed so that we, all of us, become contributors to the economy than consumers of the economy in terms of production. So we are equipping and giving production factors to the majority that don't have instead of the haves. Even the tax policy, ask the economists to tell you, we tend to tax those who earn more than the ones who earn less, so that we balance that money to have the even distribution of income. That's when the economy can grow. And that's what we mean. We start with the small person. It's not that you don't understand, but you are not ready to listen to our simple explanation before maybe giving us your complex one. I want to stop there, Bwana Chairman. Those are my submission, although I didn't
I have
have...
a question, Bernard. Bernard, I have a question for him before he goes. You have said that you want to empower the hustlers and the youths. With what?
Bernard,
I mean,
before he responds, let me add that to the question, David. You know, whatever you are saying is so theoretical. Even choosing your leader is not bottom up. Where did you guys meet to even choose him as a bottom, as a presidential candidate? There's no nomination. There's no nothing.
Bernard,
it's top down.
Bernard.
You already have chairman of the party top down. You already have your leaders in the county top down. You have everything top down. Even the economic model is top down. So you want to tell us now, all of a sudden you'll wake up in 2022, then you want to give us bottom up, which you can't even explain.
Bernard, I want to invite Themba to a discussion, but not a fight. When you argue conclusively and sarcastically, my friend, that is not intellectual. That is bullshit.
I was not finished.
I don't answer that. Let me answer Jonathan. Let me answer Jonathan.
Order, everyone. David, mind your language. We're on a public platform and we have a responsibility to mind we pass across to the rest of the world.
Thank you. I'm saying
Bernard,
I may not answer Themba because
he needs to take that back. He needs to take that back.
Order, everybody. Themba, hold on. David,
yes.
As much as we have a right to support whatever we support, when you are called upon to explain, the explanation needs to be, it can either be accepted or rejected based on the facts you have put across. So that somebody doesn't agree with you doesn't mean that what you said is wrong. Neither does it mean that his opposition is what is right. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion.
Yeah, Chairman, there's a difference between a question, a rebuttal, and a comment. So you can't mix the three. I've already said I've withdrawn that, but I wanted to invite him to open-mindedness. So I'm not answering his question. I'm answering Jonathan. Sorry to say that. Jonathan, he was asking, you are doing bottom up, empowering the many small people. How and with what? I want to take you back to what the Deputy President has been talking about, increasing the number of technical institutions in Kenya. A few years ago, we had very few technical training institutions in Kenya. But when the Deputy President was Minister for Higher Education, I happened to have been in some of the committees. There was a proposal to expand technical education so that it can reach many youth who could not have the opportunity to go to universities like some of us we did, or some of you did, but still they need skills to enable them do things, produce and have food. As we speak, we have in every constituency in Kenya, I guess by now, at least a technical training institution which can impart skills. We have builders, we can have plumbers, we can have agriculturists, we can have all sorts of small or technical education. Technical education revitalized the Japanese economy. Even here in the United States, as I speak, technical education absorbs very many people. In fact, the number of people who go to university, if I can tell you from the state I am, they are foreigners and immigrants. But people in here, they simply rush to a technical institution, take a 2-year course, they call it maybe an associate diploma or a degree, I mean, and they get into the job market, they become employers, and they do all sorts of this work we are not keen about. Because the deputy principal is the proponent why he was the minister for technical education, or higher education, sorry, and he's now aspiring for the big office. We are very safe as UDA that being the original man with this idea, he can spearhead it much more better than those who may not understand it. Meanwhile, people have to do something. If somebody came and said, okay, sisi lebi ni wakisi tunasukuma ndizi Nairobi, hatuna wheelbarrow, then we decided to give that, and people are making it a big thing, then you can say, okay, even a wheelbarrow is a tool, because that wheelbarrow can bring food to someone's children on the table, the same way you can bring food as a CEO of a big company. Why do you want to say that food from a doctor or whoever is better than the food that you have sold in Ndizi or Miwa in Kawangware? That is food. My children are able to eat because I push that wheelbarrow. So there are things we can do that can mean for small people. Not only the wheelbarrow is one of them, but I want to say that our opponents have reacted towards the wheelbarrow aspect, but we swallow it. We know we may not really impress you, but we can't also buy the idea that you are giving us wheelbarrow and you are giving your children ambassadorial positions. How many people can be ambassadors? How many people can be appointed in big offices? But you still have those people. They need to eat. They need to be empowered. They need loans. So in a nutshell, Jonathan, a wheelbarrow is one of them, because that's where your mind is pointing. 2, giving loans to small-scale farmers is one of them. Technical education, imparting skills of different aspects to the youth and the small person is one of them. And the DP, as I've already explained, is the proponent of this idea. And many others which we may think want to invite you at your own level, because DP is not an angel who may know my problem in my village. I will come up and say, if you give me this thing, I'll be much more comfortable than this. Because someone in Mbeere may need something different than someone who is in Rachonyo. Someone may need water, another one may need something else.
Okay, David, I get what you are putting across. One quick question is, why does that require somebody to be president before it is rolled out? Could we be having at least a pilot program like in one county, like universal health was run out as a pilot program in Nyeri, in Kisumu, and the rest? Why haven't we had bottom-up approach at least piloted in one county, and we saw the results? Then now we saw that it's working, let's say in West Pokot. Now we can adopt it for Kenya.
Are you saying piloting of all those things I mentioned, or about what? Because if it's piloting, we already have the system of technical education is running. We are only simply saying that the proponent, should he be the man at the top, those things now will run instead of crawling. Which pilot do you mean, Chair? Maybe I didn't get that.
No, the bottom-up approach, the bottom-up economy, the one you're talking about, wheelbarrows and the rest of the things. things coming from the bottom going up instead of them coming from up going down.
I
Bernard, you
also
know,
wish.
Whoever,
I also wish to.
yes.
Bernard,
Tolos.
Yes.
Bernard, Temba, wait. Bernard, you see, you remember when between 2013 and 2017, there was this table banking, which was introduced by the second lady, Rachel Ruto, which it really helped Kinamam, and it is still going on. It's called Choice or something, and it's still going on. It's something which the Ruto has really proved that he can do these things, like the technical colleges. And you remember, you know, when he was the minister for agriculture, he also revived the Kisumu, the Kano rice fields of what we call before you reach Kisumu. There's these plains where they produce rice. It's not that this guy does not know what he's doing, and even the bottom up economic model is something which is applicable even in the US. It's not that something which is not applicable. The other day, the president of the US was talking about it.
Okay,
want to.
let me answer, because somebody interrupted
to-
me, Chair. That's why you saw me turn the head. I'm sorry.
I want to add to that, David, as you respond. Now that
Okay,
you have you don't think I'm serious in asking my questions,
yeah,
but
just serious. I'm serious with you.
well, yeah, but you see, that was in a light banter. But anyway, whatever you have enumerated so well, which you really trying as hard as every other UDA proponent has tried, is the same thing repeated over and over. But it doesn't say anything. It doesn't give any difference from the devolution that we have right now. Right now, do you know how many projects Uhuru has launched in the different counties to this day?
How do you expect me to know that? That's a paper.
Oh, you don't know. So how do you talk about a process that cannot be anchored within the constitution?
I know,
Because whatever you're talking about is actually whatever the same things that have been in. Yeah, go ahead.
In as much as the chairman, thank you. In as much as Themba is trying to brush off what I'm saying, I want to be honest with you that I may not know the nitty-gritty of projects that are implemented by the president. That one you're also aware. Even you, if I ask you, when you are honest to yourself, maybe some of them you might have heard about them, or you are a government official who is privy to what is taking place in the government. Government is so wide. So by asking me how many projects, to want to be very honest, I can't tell you how many because I don't know, and I'm not privy to government operations. But I'm answering on the premise of what we those in UDA believe in as what we call bottom up in our understanding. So we are inviting you to understand it or ignore it. But let me answer what Chairman asked me. Does it take you to be president for this bottom up to work? I know, Pastor, what you mean. Does it mean Ruto to become president for this to work? That is not the answer. But I want to answer it differently. Ruto is any man who's also ambitious. He has been deputy president. The next thing, like Abraham Maslow can tell you, is to move to the next level. And the next level to reach actualization for Ruto is to be president. And he has to look for things that can really be embraced by many. And the many in this case, as per our economic system in Kenya, majority of us people, we are poor. Let us be very sincere. And for you to get a vote, you must address the individual needs of an individual. I can't tell you that you are going to put me minister when we have only about 18. I don't know how many there are now. I will say what I will do that directly affects you. And that's what we are saying. Directly we meet almost everybody by reaching you at your point of need. Kama wewe ni mtu wa wheelbarrow, we give that so that we have you participate in the economic development or in production. Kama wewe ni mtu wa vitu kubwa, tunakupea ministry. So even when you see people talk about creating jobs for big boys, they know tusiposhika watu wapee kitu, they won't participate. So why do you want to pretend? These things are very genuine, by the way. Let's our people embrace these jobs. Why, Bernard, nowadays politics is very competitive in Kenya, I can tell you, is because politics seem to be the only job that is earning. Hizo zingine zote watu wamezitrash, hawaoni kama ni kazi. Sababu ukiwa mwanasiasa is when you can get more money, get rich, and that's why it's cutthroat. Elsewhere, people don't even want to be politicians because it is a responsibility. If you are serious, Bernard, with your family and you want to change the lives of your family and you are serious about it, you will feel the weight. Those of us who are in the US here, we feel the weight. Sometimes our emotions can change. You think it's a discussion, but they are baggages we are wearing. The family wants to change their lives. And seriously, if you have like 10 people in college you want to pay school fees for, change their lives on a serious note, it's not a matter of laughing. It's serious business. So for a politician to change the lives of his people, and indeed to change as the work demands, you can't run there like, not everybody. It's not for everybody. But because it is well paying, you can go there and scoop a few things here and become rich. That's why you see everybody running there, trying to come with all manner of convincing, all manner of propaganda. But when it is taken seriously, hiyo ni kazi ya kutoroka, sababu unabeba mzigo wa watu constituency mzima, and you must change their lives. You must meet them at their points of need. So Ruto, in a nutshell, I want to say differently. He's a man of ambition. He wants to be president, and he must meet everybody at his point of need. And if it's a wheelbarrow, we are ready to give. If it's an airplane, those who are able to give, please go ahead and give. Themba, if you are able to put us in to be ambassadors all over, I don't know how many states you get to take care of us. We are here. We have master's degrees. Give us the ambassadorial positions. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, David. Thank you, David. I'm happy that the mask is off and everything is laid bare, and everybody that has an ear has heard from the horse's mouth on what the UDA is offering us, and the reason why particular positions are important to specific people. I want us to move from there and go straight to Brian. Brian has been on and off. Then from Brian, we'll go to James. Then we take another round. Brian, are you there? Welcome to the show. Brian, we can't hear you. Are you still there? Okay, James, take it until Brian is ready.
Okay, thank you. Habari ya kila mtu.
Salama, karibu sana.
Yeah, nimefurahi sana bana. Where is huyu David amekuwa wapi jamani? This person is using wisdom. Huyu David is actually is telling us the truth. Na unajua Wakenya wanachukia ukweli. Naona Themba leo ame smile. Hey, fact number one, Kenyans are poor. Bwana, hiyo naweka mkono juu. Civil servants, we are treated like, see, I don't want to say that because mimi naonekana, uso yangu imeonekana. Bwana, we work for this government day in, day out. But you will not feel the fruits of working for a government. Bwana, we serve this nation, but we still feel bitter. We are paid peanuts. Bwana, let me not go away from the topic. Nimesikiza Ruto leo ameniguza bana. Hey, Bwana Ruto has spoken. Msifiche ingine. Sasa tukishamaliza kulist yake, tumelist hangars, iko na 5 helicopters. Now what of the other big boys? Tunataka kujua Musali yako na nini? Tunataka kujua rafiki yetu kutoka huko Ukambani yako na nini, Kalonzo. We want to know all these things. Na nimesikiza leo Omar, this man from Mombasa bwana. he deserves, anastahili kiti, kama si kiti moto apewe hata kadogo yake hivi, sijui hiyo itaitwa nini. He said, let us not beat around the bush. We also say there is no big thief, there is no small one. Ukweli usema bwana, the founding fathers of this place, sitaki kurudia Kenya alisema, lakini mulisikia alisema also the founding thieves, Jesus Christ of Nazareth. If we are going to stick by truth, na mimi nimeandika leo nikasema, kama mwizi atapewa hii kiti na wengi, it means the wengi have gone for a thief, they have chosen a thief, and let that thief govern them. Kama wanataka Miguna, let Miguna come back, hakuna kuzuiliwa tena. Let Miguna come back and lead the masses. Kama ni pasta wanataka, kuna huyu jamaa mwimbaji anaitwa nani, Ruben Kagame, let Kagame lead Kenyans. Hatutasema kwa sababu aoni, he will lead, atatumia his spirit to lead Kenyans. Bwana, tusidanganyane hapa. I want to beseech the president. Whoever is going to get enough votes, 50+1, to become a president of this country, let that person be. Wacha akuwe rais. Sudi akipatiwa interior, sawa, tutafurahi, wacha apewe, because we also have a governing constitution. Hawezi kuja kututusi na kutupigia kelele vile anasema Matiangi ako na kichwa kubwa, tumbo kubwa na akili ndogo. If Murkomen is going to be our CS devolution, sawa. Kama atakuwa CBK, it's okay. Kina Kimani Ichungwa, whoever is going to take plus this team, there is a constitution governing this country. As much as sasa itakuwa inner circle, it will be inner circle including the friends of all these communities. We cannot miss a Teso in Ruto's camp. Hatuwezi kosa Masai mwenye anasukuma wheelbarrow. Unaona kuna watu huko chini kina Aisha Jumwa. Unaona pia Wakisii wako represented. Kina huyo nani Osoro anaweza piga mtu kichwa kwa sababu amepatiwa chai kidogo huko nini. So we need to tell the truth. Lazima tutaongea ukweli hapa. Today I am so moved by that speech of Ruto.
James,
yeah.
What is this truth? You say we need to speak the truth. We need to tell the truth. Today I've heard the truth, but you have not told us the truth. What is the truth that we need to say that we are not saying?
All those leaders up there wafanyiwe lifestyle audit, si mtu moja na kusema ukweli bila kuficha.
James. Who complained about security being changed? Did Kalonzo?
No.
Did Mudavadi?
No.
Did Raila?
Apana.
So one person summoned the CS to parliament to explain why his security was changed. And then in the course of that, it was now painted that he has more security than most of us Kenyans. So how does that warrant that every other Kenyan now must also be lined up to explain where his security is and how much he owns?
Can I help James Bernard?
Kidogo wacha nijisaidie mimi, wacha nijisaidie amaman, nikilemewa utanisaidia. I'll go straight into that. Kwanza hiyo kitu bwana, it was something that was predetermined. Walijua this action will elicit that reaction. Omera, listen bwana, hiyo kitu walijua vizuri, kwani wamejua leo wanahitaji AP wachunge the official residence of the DP. Mbona wakufanya hivyo 2013? Rafiki yangu, I am telling you this for free. They know once we do this, that is the reaction. And from that reaction, we'll pick it from there. So walikuwa natafuta hiyo, that they were looking for that punchline. Wakishapata tu hivi, was it necessary for Matiangi to expose for sure the properties owned by this gentleman rather than explaining straight the reason they changed his security? Kwa nini lazima utuambie?
James, the
Yes,
question was not framed by Matiangi.
yes,
Matiangi did not summon himself to parliament. It
yes.
is the parliamentarians who are complaining about the DP security that
Bernard.
framed the questions that were posed to Matiangi. And then Matiangi had the responsibility of laying it bare for Kenyans to know who is complaining about what when this particular person, the DP, sits in the security committee. The thing was passed in the security committee. Why is he telling Kenyans otherwise when it was passed the other way?
Now why the DP? Why the office of the DP? Mbona wakubadilisha wale wa Kalonzo walete G4S? Now
That
why
one is
the
also
DP?
answering the question you were asking, how is Ruto fought?
Unajuaje haukubadilishwa? It's
Mkenya
only
mwenye
that
alikuwa
they did not
anataka
shout,
kunisaidia.
they did not cry. Like okay, taking you back 2017, security ya Kalonzo ilichukuliwa, security ya Raila ilichukuliwa, and the NASA leaders. What did the DP do about that?
Who is that
Because
Kenyan
you're
who
DP then still.
kuna Mkenya alikuwa anataka kunisaidia. Let me take time and breathe. Sasa imekuwa moto.
David, relax, James. Bernard.
Yes, David.
Can I help?
Go ahead.
In your own words, you are asking how is Ruto being fought. That's one of the how. Two, in your own words, you are asking why is Ruto complaining now and the same was done in 2007. That is another how. So we are Yuda people see as a revenge mission. You are not coming to be leaders to protect all of us. You are coming to revenge on us on what we did, maybe by default or by mistake.
So,
you cannot tell us,
who is revenging here,
you cannot
David?
tell us. You have mentioned NASA. Chairman, your words are very clear to everybody. You are listening to the world by the people in the
saying,
world.
look here, don't turn out the question to say what I did not say. What I said is in 2017,
yes,
the Kalonzo security were taken,
yes.
Raila security were taken by the government, which the DP is still the DP of that particular government. How did he respond in 2017? How come this time is different?
I'm also asking the same question, Chairman.
Yes.
What makes you remember that those years, those individuals lost security? It was our concern. So we are coming back to revenge. We are looking at that.
It is no who is coming to revenge when it is the government itself that is carrying out its program.
If it was just something normal, you couldn't have remembered it by now. So it was something abnormal. Two, remember someone said on national television that Ruto hautakuwa kwa ballot paper. That one sank with us very well. Let's remind you, we take security seriously, especially when it comes to a candidate that is going for presidency. That statement alone is treason. But because Kenya lacks some few systems and has a system of its own, you cannot explain to us how by saying someone cannot be on the ballot paper and you are withdrawing security. Any trigger, anything strange, we take it so seriously. That's why we are complaining. As Yuda.
David.
Somebody's calling.
Okay, now, Mugambi, before you come in, David, we get you when you complain, okay?
Yes.
And then my confusion is one.
Yes.
You channeled your complaint through the required channel, summoned the CS to Parliament, posed questions to the CS. The CS gave answers to your questions. Where did the CS go wrong in answering the questions you posed to him?
The answer given, Pastor, I want to believe you have done so many exams and you're going to be given a question, you answered it different. The answer given by CS Matiangi, I can tell you for free, from the Yuda perspective, is mischievous. It was meant to score. You know, you can use any situation to fit you. And that answer was mischievous, and we believe in that in Yuda until you convince us. That was not satisfactory. Thank you.
Bernard.
Okay, thank you, David. Let's hear from
Bernard.
Can I finish?
Tolos, Bernard.
Bernard. Yes.
Yes.
You know what?
Yes.
Bernard.
Yes.
Let me tell you something.
Tell me.
You see the people who are asking the question, directing to disclose what Ruto is owning are the cows ODM. You don't need to hide. Tell us Junet was guiding the CS to tell us that the Ruto is owning ABCD.
Thank you, Toros. I wanted to say that, but I avoided it.
Can I say something, Mr. Ben? Mr. Ben?
No.
I have a question for Tolos.
Okay. Hold on. Now let's have some order. Tolos, you finish your point. James, what is it?
Nataka unajua nilikuwa nasaidiwa sasa kupumua kumalizia tu kidogo, then I let other Kenyans say contribute.
Yes, half a minute. We want to hear from Mugambi, and Mugambi may be coming for you, so usi answer endelea tu kupumua.
Sawa.
My question is, I have heard David, Tolos, and James trying to perpetrate a point that the security of the DP was withdrawn. The same problem that brought Matiangi to the parliament. And when the cabinet secretary came, it was very clear there was no security that was withdrawn. The deputy president was entitled to 257 security officers, right? And as of now, the 257 gentlemen are guarding him. So where are these 3 gentlemen getting the issue of security withdrawal? Where? Let them tell us.
Mugambi.
How do you get? Yes.
Mugambi. You know, I know.
There are several echoes, Chairman. Can you protect our ears?
You know, people should switch on their mics when I'm asking something. Mugambi, tell us that you have now seen that the DP does not require General Service Unit last August since 2013. And let me tell you, one thing. No. The office of the deputy president, is really held in high regard by the constitution. If anything happens to the president, and let me tell you, God forbid, if anything, that is the constitution. If anything happens to the president, he ascends to power. You want to tell me you want to bring G4S to come and protect somebody like that? Surely, let us be frank, Bana. It's not politics. What is it?
Tolos, I think you are so mischievous in your debate. Non-government agents saying that we are going to bring the G4S. It is your own master who said you can bring in the G4S. You have asked the question.
Are you in Kenya? Do you know the people who are escorting money? Do you know the people who are escorting money from banks to banks? It is the G4S and administration police. Let me not be sarcastic.
Just relax. Relax. Learn to relax. When you talk of General Service Unit, and go to the same constitution and the Police Act, they are very clear on the places that the General Service Unit should protect. And the residence of the Deputy President is not part of the premises. 1, the G4S should and shall grant the President, the Deputy, and state houses and state lodges. The official residence of the Deputy President is neither a state house nor a state lodge. When you go to Harare Annex tomorrow, you will meet APs all over the corridor and at the gate. So why should we have the GSU in the wrong building? I know most of us are asking, why now? When someone has made a mistake in the past and the mistake is rectified today, you should not crucify that person for rectifying his previous mistake.
Bernard.
You said because
No. I cannot get you, Mugambi.
Mugambi is answering his own question.
Order, everybody.
No.
Order. Tolos, order. Tolos, hold on. Thank you very much. Let's go back to James.
Yes, sasa nataka kusaidia rafiki yangu Mugambi. Hey, Mugambi bwana, tuliinua mkono ya jamaa mwingine na tukasema hii yangu nimalize pia nimpatie yake. Tusisahau hiyo, unajua laana inakujanga hivyo tu. Let us learn to be honest bwana. Sisi ni wa Kenya. Sasa hii unataka kusema G4S. I know you wanted to say GSU but not G4S. So don't echo what Matiangi was trying. Unajua Matiangi pia Matiangi was saying, oh, it is in the constitution, all these places except. So anasema the deputy president residence is not in that list. Hey, bwana naonanga Central Bank vile inachungwa baba. And that shows the importance of that building and what is inside. And I want to caution you Mugambi, wacha sikiza tu vizuri. Tolos kwanza, wacha hiyo maneno ya kusema God forbid if anything happens to the president, you let us not go back to 1978. Hiyo wacha kabisa. We are not praying anything bad to happen to the president. Tolos, wewe ni mtu yangu, hold on, cheza chini. Nataka kujibu huyu Mugambi. Rafiki yangu Mugambi, unajua hata ukidanganya mtoto mdogo, baba aenda ukaniletea kitu nitakupea, hii usimpee. Hiyo hasira hiyo nini hiyo, that promise alone warrants a curse. Hata kama wewe ni mzazi. I want to be categorically clear. Kiza tu vizuri. Bwana mimi ni mtu ya ODM. Lakini sasa ikifika mahali ya kuongea ukweli. Mimi nitasema sitanyamaza. Bwana Ruto deserves the best of the best in terms of security. Lakini pia ukiangalia hapo the constitution, there is that loop. There is a loop in the constitution that does not give the sailing. Ile yenye wanasema we need 500 assigned to who. It is just the will of that top security that apex of ninaitwaje, these people who sit and discuss. Kidogo inaanza kuniponyoka.
Security Council.
Security Council, thank you. So they just sit and it is actually at their disposal, depending on situations. For example, today, Baba apige tu simu asema hapana, I am not safe. Mbona nasikia umbu ni kama wako wengi kwangu. You know they are going to respond because Baba is a senior most person. He has actually fought for this country. It is not because ati sasa iko watu yake kama kina Babu Owino. You saw that clip. Tuli replay the clip of Babu Owino akisema marehemu Matiangi, before us there was Ngaiseri, there was some we are going to respond to that because Baba is also very important. Baba ni mtu mzuri, amesaidia hii nchi sana. Sikiza tena Mugambi na usikize vizuri baba. Leo wewe ukilia hapo you are not secure. Upige na N11. Useme akia nani nasikia kuna mtu anagonga mlango from my rear nini, you will see utaniambia walituma security wangapi wakuja wa respond to that. So let us be honest. Tolos, tusilete feeling.
Bernard, one word. Mugambi, Bernard, please.
James,
nataka kumaliza. Nikimalizia wa Kenya. Nikimalizia.
Okay.
What is it?
I'm saying,
yes.
The deputy president
Give him time to finish. You want to move to the next thing.
Is secured by the record squad. Actually, not G4S. The record squad, 74 of them. The deputy president as a person is not exposed at any given level. The APs were just coming to gun the premise, not the person.
Aya, good. Sawa rafiki yangu. Now, because I want to finish, nataka nimalize ndo tuende the next item.
James, niongee kitu kimoja kama hujamaliza your time, please.
Wacha nikuruhusu, nimeona wewe ni ndume.
Thank you, Mugambi. You are saying the constitution, there was a mistake of allotting the security personnel to guarding government premises and the government officials. And now you are rectifying that.
I have not said that.
I haven't said that. You can go back to the clip. I take notes. And now, if you do a correction, why is the mistake? Our simple question is, if you realize you did a mistake by putting different people to different roles, Why is it a problem to you to notify the beneficiary or the consumer of those services, the deputy president, that look here, according to the constitution, you are not supposed to be guided by GSU, you are supposed to be guided by the administrative police, or this premise is supposed to be guarded by the administrative police AP instead of GS. Why do you withdraw, wait for
Okay,
a public reaction,
But
then you explain
David,
your... No, let me finish. Let me
David, just
finish.
a moment.
Okay.
The DP is part of the Security Council.
But we are already
Like,
saying in UDA, Chairman, so being
Ngoja
mischievous and so
kwanza,
on. We are already saying
ngoja.
in UDA, you are fighting us, you are isolating us. That is
What
why
do you
some of
mean?
the decisions, we are not part of it.
Has he been kicked out of the Security Council? Is there any evidence to that effect?
Bernard, you are employing your literary skills, but
No.
I want to remind you that I cannot complain of a decision that I was party to. That is clear evidence that's clear that when you are changing the security...
that is where we are getting our drift from. If the DP was not party to it, okay, and then he complied with the changes, what happened until now? He says in fact, from what Mugambi has said, it was only the premises, okay, the people manning the premises, but the Reke squad that takes care of the president and takes care of the DP are still intact. So the life of the DP cannot be at risk in any way because nobody has been changed.
Bernard, we are in agreement.
So why do we change?
Whatever reason, you have changed the personnel because you have realized these people are supposed to take care of a person, not a premise. And we are asking a very simple question. Why is it a problem to you to notify the consumer of your services? Why do you wait for a public outcry for you to respond? It's very simple. You just notify the DP. You see here, man, these people are supposed to take care of this position. We are sorry, we are doing them and do this.
Can I give this information, please?
Okay, please, Mugambi, hurry up so that James concludes, and we need to be winding up.
Most people are blaming Matiangi without knowing the background information as to why the GSU were removed. Remember, when GSU were deployed to the DP's residence, one of their work was to control the crowd, or rather, to control the people who get in and out of that DP residence. When they were ordered to be controlling the people, they said they were trained and they were deployed to secure the deputy president. A call was made in GSU headquarters Waraka to the GSU commandant. He talked to the unit commandant at the AP's office. He told him if that is not part of their mandate, on that given day, they were to exchange with the AP, and the commandant was given the mandate to brief the DP. In the morning hours, the DP was briefed on the anticipated changes later in the day. And around 1 or 2, the APs came in. They were handed over the mandate to guard the deputy president premises so that they can control the movement of people, which the GSU had denied and refused to do. So the GSU had refused to control the crowd around the DP because, for one, if we have so much crowd around the DP, we're exposing him to security threats and the COVID-19. And it is part and the parcel of the government to secure the deputy president. So whatever people are saying that there was no communication was made to the right channel. If they expected some letters like Matumbi is doing and the chief of staff in the office of the deputy president, such things never happen in security in the security protocol. They use the right channel. And in a security communication,
Bernard,
there is no form, there is no any writing up.
With all due respect to Mugambi, you are very much aware that the members of parliament who are allied, some of them allied to the deputy president, were among the complainants why the security was changed. Let us avoid withdrawal, was changed. Do you want to tell us that this information was with the deputy president and he ignored to give his huntsman? Why do you want to treat us as though we don't know what's happening? When as much as there is security
No,
and there is secrecy to
David,
that information might have
David,
not reached the deputy president,
David,
and we couldn't complain about it.
David, your guess is as good as mine, huh? Okay, but based on the current performance of the Tanga people,
yes,
they will do anything to gain political bonga points if it can work for them, including denying to have information. Hiyo tutaomba tu Mungu atusaidie, lakini from the way they have been the way they have been responding lately, they can even deny to have never seen the president for 3 years, if that is going to give them political miles. And we have been treated to that for too long. There is no way we can run away from it. So if what Mugambi says
I'm
is
reminding
true,
you are the chair of this. If you become partisan, we will boycott
okay.
the
Bernard,
thank you. Now,
Bernard, just once again.
Bernard, I have a question to David.
Okay,
just
on
once again.
community. Okay, Themba, what is your question?
You have actually. I wished we could finalize that topic from what you have said. They want to call Matiangi, ask him questions, and when Matiangi answers, they want him to answer the way they want him to answer. If, just the same way when you go to interview DP, you ask him a question, then he tells you, no, you should not have asked me that. You should have asked me this. So I think the narrative is the same. Even you see the way David is trying to respond. Everything is like a script, and there's a place where the script is coming from. So even if you try to give him facts, they cannot run away from it. So I think we'll go round and round, but there's a script that David is sticking to, that he does not want to deviate from it. And the sympathy votes, like for example, if someone is taken because he has stolen, or it is because he's deputy president. These people go to church. Why is the church coming out and saying that you are persecuting our person? Now all of a sudden they're related.
Mr. Bernard.
So I think Bernard,
let us be reminded
whenever you
that
have
we are in a
finished
political contest. Let us be reminded that we are in a
Okay.
political contest, and you don't
My
expect us
question
to
to
sing
David.
your tune.
Okay, now order, everybody. Thank you, David. Thank you, Themba. Community, ask your question to who? To James. Ama?
No, I'm asking my question to David. David.
Yes, sir.
Now we've been to David's house for too long.
It's okay,
we need to
no
move.
problem.
Let me direct you to Tolos or James then.
Yes, thank you.
One of them. Yeah. In fact, you are saying that the deputy president is being fought left, right, and center, back and wherever.
Top and the bottom.
Now, when you are dealing with the enemy, do you listen when the enemy wants to tell you that beat me this side? Do you go ahead and listen to that enemy when he tell you, please don't beat me here, beat me this side?
You see, community answer.
He's asking a question on behalf of the community. Is he Dennis Ondiek or who? You should be able to say your name. I mean, you can't be a community.
He's an ancestor. What?
Tolos, answer the question, please. Stop describing the question.
It was directed to James. That question was mine.
No.
Okay, I want us to move from there, please. Can settle the question. So, yes. Is it James or Tolos who answering the question?
Me.
Okay, let Tolos answer, and then James, you conclude. We move. Tolos, answer the question first.
You see, the good thing about the question you have asked is about the enmity, that you are dealing with an enemy, and you don't expect when you are attacking an enemy, you don't expect the enemy to say, you have hit me at the back, you have hit me at the stomach, you have hit me at the head. And the way you guys have been hitting the DP, as your enemy, and these are political enemies. It doesn't have anything to do with what he owns. It doesn't have to do with anything with what he has been doing. It is about the power struggles in this country. The losers like you, the community who lost in 2017, you lost in 2013. You are still you are now seeing a chance by when this guy has now fallen.
Toulouse, in 2017, did you open the server?
You see that is you see. I
Now,
don't know why.
community, please don't open another one.
You see,
Tolos, conclude your question, your answer, please.
let me conclude. You see, these ancestors, I don't know where the ancestors were. When the voting was happening, when the voting was happening, we voted twice. And in fact, you know, the worst thing is when you didn't participate in the second one. But although now you are enjoying the fruits of the second one and you did not participate in it, there's no problem. There's no problem. Continue fighting the DP from left, right, center, and the front and the bottom. I heard somebody saying,
answer the question, Toros. If you don't want to answer, we can answer for you because we are in the same camp.
What I'm saying is this: we are not saying that. You know, we have agreed that they fight the DP. You know, the question was, there should not be a system of how you should fight your enemy. And I have said, let them fight the DP using all the government machineries, all this whatever. But at the end of the day,
Nobody is fighting him. Nobody is fighting.
The DP is giving them more tasks to do because they are not talking about the agenda. They are talking about Ruto. We are cautioning our opponents. Please don't overdwell on our candidate.
Ruto is talking about himself. Ruto is talking about himself. Nobody is fighting him.
Okay, thank you.
It's a figment of imagination.
Thank you, Themba. Now look here. Where did we lose James? Now I want us to, I think, to begin to call it a day. We've been discussing Matiangi's revelations, and then we went to the hustler narrative. Seems to be changing. Is it going to hold, or will it drop along the way? Because we can see some deputy saying that he's rich. If I had the access to the photograph, I would have shared it on this platform. So will the hustler narrative hold on to the last minute, or something else is being concocted to take over? Starting with the, I think we begin with community.
Yeah, thank you for the chance, Mr. Chairman. Yeah, in fact, to me, as I give my last statement, I'm gonna stating that about the hustler narrative. It is going to change. Reason being, in fact, initially we have been informed that William Samoei Ruto, who is the main author of this hustler movement, is truly somebody who hustled. You know, the word hustler, when I look at the dictionary, it has a very bad meaning. But let me put that the
objection,
the
Chairman. Objection.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hold on, community. David, what is the objection?
David,
we have already posted what we subscribe as the meaning of hustler in the chat. We were calling upon his attention to the chat. Those others, mean prostitutes and thieves, please. That one does
David,
not apply to
David,
you.
have you adjusted the Oxford Junior Dictionary too?
A word has many meanings. We want to tell you we subscribe to aggressively enterprising person, a go-getter. So forget about the others. The others can be
So we
adopted by
forget
another
about
person.
the others, or the others don't mean what it is saying.
They mean in their own evolution, but as the Hustler Nation, we have adopted the word aggressively enterprising person, you go get. The rest
So there
forget.
is,
If you are talking
so there
about
is,
prostitute and the rest, that is yours. No, you're not referring to us as the Yuda.
okay. Community, continue.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. David, for saying that those learned friends, in fact, who made the dictionary, they did very wrong to say that an hustler is a fraud, is a swindler, is
False.
a thief, and
False.
what have you.
Say that. False.
Yeah, exactly. Now, as I conclude, is that from today, I've known that first of all, the author of the hustler movement is truly not somebody who is poor. So, which means that for him is a by the way, is a guy who is supposed to thank God for enabling him to have what we call earthly materials. And then the deputy president is supposed to come clean and say that truly he cheated us, that he has been he hasn't been having material things, so that in fact we can be able to buy whatsoever he is himself and the entire team, what they are gonna selling for us in terms of ensuring that our lives change if we give them opportunity to lead us come 2022. So they have to go back to the boardroom and then give us another maybe narrative in 2 to 3 months to come. I thank you and I rest my case.
Okay, thank you, community. We go now to David.
Thank you, Bwana Chair. Before the last speaker leaves the floor, we want to dispute the use of hustler. By all means, you cannot put words in our mouth. When you start an organization or something or a movement, you have the mission and the vision. Our mission as Yuda is to change lives. And I want to submit that we have a hustler, we have hustling. Hustling is a means to the end, or a means to the end. That means we cannot remain hustling forever. At the end of the day, we intend to move lives, improve lives from point A to point B. So according to a question, will the hustler narrative change? Yes. How? Once our chief hustler is in the government, he controls resources and he is able to make decisions, we are able to implement our agenda in as much as is not acceptable to our opponents, and the change means change the lives of many hustlers to also be proud of their country, be proud of their efforts, be proud of their work. We cannot continue being down there. Lastly, once a preacher, always a preacher. Once a teacher, always a teacher. Even if at one point we become very rich, we remember we hustled our way up there. Today, I am here doing my stuff, but I still remember I went to high school stepping down. But I'm not walking even with in shoes. I remember that one day the hustlers that we are calling hustlers will lead good lives, and let's change the minds. So we are calling upon opponents. Please listen to us, give us your vote, test us, try us. We will deliver. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, David. Now we hear from Themba, then Tolos, and Mugambi will take the last word. Themba, go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Bernard, for this time. I like David's presentation, but I also wish to inform him that he ought not to force us to pick the definition that he wants to pick. When you pick a name, you live by it, you know. And it's him who said that It's a political competition. So the people out there, they are going to interpret whatever name they have picked. And of course, over time, you realize they have struggled with that tagline of a hustler for a while, and they have had to try and keep mutating it, coming up with different. It was from hustler. It first started us versus them, dynasties versus the rest. Then it came to hustlers. Then over time, it has come to bottom up. And constantly, what has been coming out along the line is that he's been painting himself as the lowest amongst all the rest. So after today's revelation, even those who were believing him have started seeing that. So he's just like the upper ones. He's not like us. So to your question, if the narrative is likely to change, yes, it's going to change because we are in a political competition. I know everybody that is there to win. UDA, Ruto is there to be the president. Everybody that is so definitely they are going back to the drawing board, and they are going to come up with something else that is going to try and redeem their already battered self, which was done badly this week. And if you can notice, we said that before. Immediately they noticed that this was going to leave them with eggs in their faces. Ruto beat a hasty retreat and tried to tell them that, hey, it doesn't matter. MPs are wasting time, calling the Matiangi. But it was too late. The train had left the station. So yes, the narrative is going to change. And I want to submit to my brother David and Tolos. It is not wrong to have a political competition, and everyone is in it to win. Kenya is a multi-party democracy. It is the best way to go, and everyone is going to put themselves out there. But what I would request them, even as they hold dear to their candidate, is we need some consistency and truthfulness across board as we move forward. But I guess that's a very high bar to expect from that other side. So we are likely to hear a lot of misrepresentations of the truth moving forward. But we welcome that. And they are worthy opponents. Yes, Ruto is in it to win. And come 2022 August, we shall know whose narrative will have sailed through. Until then, wish you all the best, each side. I think if we can learn to respect each other, whichever party we belong to, we appreciate you accept that your thought can be interrogated, and be ready to defend it. Be ready to stand by the truth. That is how democracy works. And I think I like the panel, David, Tolos, Mugambi, and James. Thank you so much, and all our viewers. God bless you, and God bless Kenya.
Thank you, Themba. Thank you so much. We continue with our closing remarks. Now James has come. He had something to conclude. Let's hear Tolos. Then you give your submission plus your closing remarks, Tolos. Then we move to James. Mugambi, you're still holding the last flag.
Okay. Thank you very much, my reverend and bishop, and God bless you very much. Themba, thank you very much. Thank you, Mugambi. Even as I go, the thing is, you have asked about the issue of hustler narrative. If it will still hold, hey, it is now stronger because now I've now realized that you can come from nothing to a very big something. I never knew that you can come from a chicken seller and go up there and own what Ruto is now owning. And it gives me pride to also struggle and sell more chicken to so that I go up towards where he is. It is not about. It's not about. I know when our all CS takes to a stand in Parliament in front of cameras and try to do a lot of politics against the DP, it becomes it really gives credit to the other opponents, because right now we have two horses, that that's Raila and Ruto, and as we speak, in everybody, as we speak, you know where I lean on, as because these are the times these are the last days of the Jubilee government. It's like when we are being told, when you see these signs, you know the world is almost coming to an end. These are now the signs of government coming to its term end term. And as we speak, the incumbent is not vying, although he has taken sides. Is not vying. But now, as we speak, we are now seeing everybody is now trying to put the best foot forward. There's nothing which is now happening in this country if it is not politics. It's not about what we are being told, what we are seeing. It is now upon now these two candidates to prove that they can do campaigns, because they can do campaigns and prove that they want to take this country forward. So about the models and the other, you trickle down or bottom up, normally it doesn't count. It only counts. I've seen even a lot of campaigns in Facebook. I don't know how many people are in Facebook. I don't know how many people are watching this program. I don't know how, because you see people are taking sides, and that is the way in the ground. It is not even today. Ruto was having people from Kisi the other day, from Nakuru and Kisi, and he's still trying. He's still trying to make himself relevant. It will not bog him down. It will not bog us down. The issue of hustler, and it's not even so much about. Somebody talked about the mutation. It is now UDA, sijui kazi ni kazi. Kazi ni kazi. So it's all about building each other. And somebody at some point will always try to put stop caps. Opponents will always put stop caps. Just wish all the best, whoever will become the head of state in this country, because currently the constitution has not been changed. Even if people doesn't want to follow the constitution, like Mugambi, who's telling us the house of the DP is not I'm saying this because he has not talked, is not a state law. That is just another politic. That is a policy in politics, but it is the law. The law itself is clear, and the presidency is to be taken care of by the General Service Unit. It's not about it's not the officers. Even the office of the president, Harambe House, is being guarded by the administration police at the gate. But when it comes to home, it is the General Service Unit. Even if you go to the fast lady, that is the General Service Unit. Fast lady, I know you know whom I am referring to. So it is the GSU. It's not even it's not the AP. So when we talk about the downgrading, it's real. Downgrading is real. Good night, guys, and God bless you. And I think I'll go off, but I'll follow the. No. I'll wait, because normally there's a prayer at the end of the day. I don't want to miss that one. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you, Tolos. Thank you very much. Let's keep fighting for a better Kenya. We need a better Kenya for us to be better Kenyans. Can we hear from James, your submission and your closing remarks?
Thank you. I'm not going to take long. When you say submission and a closing remark, sisi ni Wakenya. Unajua Wakenya, when they are given such a chance, they go back to square one and wanakuja all the way now. Mugambi, Temba, David, and the chair, and my good friend, and I told us, one, I want to go on record. Mimi niko na chama. I think you all know the only political party that has stood the test of time. That is the Orange Democratic party. And I am not afraid to say so. But at times, because of where I am afraid to wear orange. Now, I also love the ideologies of the deputy president. Huyu jamaa bwana is very smart. I had Keter. Keter is my area MP in my place of work. But my area MP actually is another one called Serem in Aldai. I border I border Vihiga and Kisumu the other side. So Keter was saying Raila Raila actually Baba might not be that smart, but for sure he is surrounded by the best brains. And you all know that the likes of Kina Orengo and Kina Otiende and the rest. Even Joho, not to forget. So, and he also said Ruto is the smartest of all beings. These geniuses, political geniuses, but surrounded by fools, wako wengi sana. And I wish to to send a message. Mimi I love both. Ruto is my Ruto ni mtu tunasikizana na yeye lugha. But kisiasa, I support Raila because it touches my heart whenever he speaks. He has done a lot that I feel should be appreciated. So I want to ask the Tanga people, Tolos, unaelewa hii maneno iko hivi, the likes of Sudi and the rest actually should take a back seat. Nataka watulie huko nyuma kabisa. Let them go to that far end, huko kwa corner, the darkest part. Allow kina Barak Muluka, kina David Ndii, kina Hassan Omar to steer up this narrative and make it as clean as it as clean as it deserves. Na pia sisi watu wa ODM tuwachie kina Junet. Unajua Junet ni haye, he comes from the far north, lakini tumempatia sasa that front seat. Tumeambia kina nani Peter Kaluma, kaeni chini, tulieni. So kina Osoro ni mzuri because they come from Kisiland. At least those people are thinking. But we need to ask Tanga people, please sell this thing, but musiuze tena uoga. Unajua kuna ile pia, we are afraid at times. If you support a different person, like in an outspace like this, what may befall you next? God knows. Nataka tuelewane kabisa Tolos. Tuuze sera, bas, and the best candidate ni Mungu anajua nani atakalia hiyo kiti. And also I want to ask the president, sijui mliona hiyo clip, our president is not allowed actually to speak in his own mother tongue. Tuache kusikiza nini Otire, the rest kina Mugambi wanaelewa. Let us have a national leader who speaks. Sijawahi Raila when he speaks Dholuo ni wakati wa salamu tu. Mumewahi sikia Matiangi akiongeanga kikisio ovyo ovyo? Hawezi, because that one is a cabinet secretary, he is there to serve Kenyans, not kisses. So sikizeni tu vizuri. Advice ya Tanga nimepatiana. Ya president ndo hii inasema he is a national leader. He should not go on cameras speaking Kikuyu. And also Baba naweza sema hivi. Rafiki yetu mzee Oburu Odinga, unaona tunampenda sana. I saw him, was it today, alikuwa na mzee. Nataka tu atulie nyumbani. Let him also take some fresh water and fresh cold air. Baba ako na timu kubwa sana. That brotherly love, we feel it, but nataka atulie, atuachie sasa hii stage tusukume na watu wengine kina Junet and these are the best brains. Kenya is having a very promising future. I swear this. Tukiwacha tu hii maneno ya ukabila kidogo na tupendane vile mimi napenda ODM and I'm a Kalenjin, I see this country going forward, not like our neighbors. Unajua sasa ungekuwa hapa kando kidogo, you took ill of a sitting president and you are the deputy president. Museveni hawezi kubali hiyo maneno.
James,
Utagongwa. Yes.
No,
James,
James,
let me
James,
interject kidogo because you have mentioned
conclude haraka tafadhali. Tolos.
dakika moja tu. Let me
Ori,
Dakika itakuwa sasa 5 minutes.
James,
Utafungua milango ingine.
James,
Oriti nimemaliza
Hold on,
bwana.
Tolos. Hold on.
Remarks. Why is Toros commenting?
Ngoja James amalize, alafu tutachukua half a minute kurespond kwake tukienda kwa Mgambi.
Wanere, mimi nimemaliza Oriti. Sasa mimi sina maneno, wacha Tolos kama anasema kitu. Mimi napenda Yesu, mimi napenda Kenya. Mnaangalia. Hey.
Okay. Thank you, James. Just hold on there. Tolos, quickly.
James, I don't know whether you are really true to what you are saying. Just a caution. You remember a guy called Margaret Langat? When he was removed from Orange House, he did not even use his personal car. He used a police car. You don't know how that name. I don't know what your name is. I don't know you are Kip or who. If you appear, even if you vote for ODM with your fingers from down there up to your head, if you appear in Orange House,
Chairman, I'm objecting that.
Your name is you what? Keep
No,
No.
Ross is watering down what James said.
Tolos, sikiliza. Kila chama kiko na sera zake na
please, Chairman, don't
mustakabali
comment on
wake.
that. You are watering down
Chama
what James said.
chetu ni, remember what the late Otieno Kajwanga said. Fidelity, faithfulness. If we smell or think or suspect that you're going out with the opposition,
Chairman, please don't.
you must be dealt with. So hiyo ndio maxim ya huko. Hiyo ni game ingine tofauti sana, lakini naomba tumalizie hapo, tuende kwa Mgambi moja kwa moja.
Chairman Tolos ajue.
Yes.
UDA is just ni gari na wasukuma, lakini ODM is a party. So there is a big difference between hiyo ni meli tu mnapitia bwana. That is not a party, Mugambi. So but
We'll get to
ODM
that party one day, don't worry.
yeah,
You are watering down what you said. You had a very good presentation.
Thank you everyone. Please, thank you. Let's go to Mugambi.
Okay, thank you, Demba, Bernard, James, David, and Tolos. Thank you for your time. Sometimes when you talk a lot of sense, it's always so tricky to make a long parting shot because you may water everything down. That said, I want to say that let us all be accommodative. And this point is informed by the contribution by our friend James, who have said that where he is now, he can't risk putting on a orange t-shirt. That is the highest level of intolerance that should not be allowed anywhere in Kenya. I think when we say Azimio la Umoja, we mean let us be our brother's keeper. If you can't live together in peace, try to accommodate each other. That said, on today's contribution, I want to say let Kenyans know that our leaders, they are all safe. From the VVVIP, the president, the VVIP, the deputy, and the rest, they are all safe. No country can ever risk to expose its second most citizen in a country because you'll be ridiculed by your people and even other foreign countries. The last point I want to make is sometimes I love our DP the way he talks. But you know, these intelligent people, sometimes they make very silly mistakes that may make them get into a deeper pit. Today, he told us in a national television that his chicken gives him 0.5 million shillings in a day. Of course, that statement will get the interest of the KRA. So when tomorrow we have KRA officers in Sogoi going to see if there are tax that are paid for those eggs, utasikia tu watu wanaspiga makelele. So as leaders, let us always measure our wants. Because number one, you began with your security, the thing was unrest. After the unrest, you have brought another narrative, which still you are now putting yourself in more problems by overestimating your wealth, which is so bad. That said, let us live as brothers. Let us follow our constitution, the latter. Let us obey the rule of law. I may not support Tolos today or David, but immediately after 2022, I may go everywhere looking for them because politics is all about interests, and you go where your interests are mostly secured, both personal, communal, and business wise. That is my point. Let us be at peace, we sleep well. Lakini mwenye atafikia DP mwambie hata kama mtu umefinywa, uendaki ukisema mali yako bana. Kesho unaweza finywa utafinywa na KRA, ufinywa na EACC, alafu you make the country ungovernable, which is so wrong. So thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, every one of you, James, David, Tolos, Mugambi, and Themba, and the rest of our viewers. We appreciate you so much for keeping it here and continuing to share. We look forward to having another time together as we share on making Kenya a better place. Na azimio la umoja ni muhimu kwa taifa nzima. Lazima tukubali kwamba Kenya ni yetu wote kwa pamoja. Na kama mwili mmoja tunahitaji kuwa na kila kiungo katika huo mwili ndio tuwe wakamilifu. Kwa hivyo tukubali kwamba licha ya kuwa hatuwezi kuwa wote viongozi wa Kenya, atakayekuwa kiongozi wa Kenya awe kiongozi ambaye atafanya kila Mkenya awe na uhuru wa kuwa Mkenya na awe na uwezo wa kujiendeleza kimaisha kama Mkenya, ili tusikuwe taifa la ombaomba, tuwe taifa ambalo la watu ambao wanajisimamia, wanajiheshimu na wanaendeleza mambo yao. Kwa hivyo nikimalizia, naomba tuombe pamoja tukikamilisha matangazo ya leo, na tunatarajia kuwa ndio tunaingilia weekend, so we'll be here until Sunday, so keep watching. And if you are not yet in our WhatsApp group, you leave us your number in the private chat, not on the public chat, on the private chat. If you are out there and you want to leave us your number so that you join our WhatsApp group, you do the same thing. Use the link, try to get into the studio, then you will have access to the private chat where you will be able to put your WhatsApp number, and then we will be able to add you to our WhatsApp group where we discuss these issues before we come right here. So let us believe together and pray as we close. Heavenly Father, we thank you. We appreciate you that you're the Lord of all. We submit your will. We thank you that you have ordained us to be alive in this great nation. We thank you that you have the best of the interest for this nation at heart. And we commit the nation of Kenya onto your care and the world at large. We ask you in the name of Jesus that your hand will rest upon each and every Kenyan around the world, that Jehovah God, your purpose for this country will prevail, that your plans for this country will not fall apart. In the name of the Lord Jesus, we pray that you will arise to contend with them that contend against this nation and give us peace, give us victory, give us success. We commit the upcoming elections unto you. We pray in the name of Jesus that only by your wisdom shall this nation be governed. Let your wisdom guide every voter. Let your wisdom guide every aspirant. Let your wisdom guide all the officials concerning the elections. That mighty God, in the name of Jesus, that at the end of the day we'll have your will passed across to govern this nation for the next 5 years. We give you thanks and bless you that knows the hearts of men, knows the minds of men, you that knows our thoughts are far off. Help us by guiding us, showing us what to do, and helping us to do the same. We pray for every county, we pray for every community, we pray for every family in all the corners of this nation. Let the power of the blood of Jesus that speaks better things than that of Abel speak for this nation, speak for every home, speak for every family. We thank you for this platform. We pray for its prosperity and for its breakthroughs, even as we continue sharing whatever we are sharing on this platform. We give you thanks and bless you for our viewers. We ask for your blessing upon them and all the participants. We give you thanks and bless you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
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 Amen. Good night.
Thank you very much, guys. Let's link up again later on. See you when you see me.
Okay, thank you.